Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. Today, we are going to be tackling something that you specifically requested, and that is the power of gratitude. You sent over a fascinating article from Psychology Today. It's called The Magic of Gratitude, and it's by Dr. Laura Gabayan. Now, what's really interesting about her is she's not just a researcher.
Right.
She's also a physician. So I feel like that adds a really interesting
Yeah.
kind of a component, too.
It does. It really does. And you know what strikes me is that the focus of the article is really about gratitude during challenging times.
Okay.
We often think about being grateful during the holidays,
Yeah.
when things are good, right? But
Mm.
there's a growing body of research that shows how important gratitude is for building resilience and helping us get through those difficult moments.
Okay, well, let's just jump right in.
Yeah.
The article talks about this idea of forced appreciation,
Okay.
which kind of sounds a little counterintuitive,
Yeah.
almost like you're tricking yourself into being grateful.
Right. It's more about intentionally shifting your focus.
Okay.
Instead of dwelling on what's wrong, you actively look for things to appreciate, even in really challenging situations.
Okay.
Dr. Gabayan, in the article, she shares this really powerful story about a stroke patient who focused on the parts of their body that were still functioning well,
Wow.
rather than
Okay.
dwelling on what they had lost.
Okay. So is there a danger in that, though? Because I feel like focusing on the positive is great, but shouldn't we acknowledge the negative as well?
Absolutely. Acknowledging the negative is important. We don't want to deny reality here.
Right.
Forced appreciation, or what we could call intentional gratitude practice, is about finding those glimmers of hope even in the midst of hardship.
Yeah.
It's about training your mind to seek out the good,
Yeah.
because there's always something to be grateful for, no matter how small.
So it's almost like reframing your perspective. So instead of looking at the glass half empty,
Exactly.
you're choosing to see it as half full.
Yeah,
And this can actually have a tangible impact on our well-being.
exactly. This isn't just about, feel-good vibes or anything like that. Research shows that gratitude can have a profound impact on both our mental and physical health.
Really? So like, oh,
Well, for starters, gratitude can improve sleep quality,
wow.
which I know a lot of people listening probably struggle with.
Yeah, for sure.
It can also reduce stress levels and even strengthen our relationships.
That makes sense. I mean, if you're focusing on the positive, you're probably nicer to be around.
Exactly.
But the article also mentions some potential physical healing benefits.
Yes.
How does gratitude play into that?
That's where this fascinating mind-body connection comes into play. When we experience gratitude, our brain releases hormones like dopamine and serotonin, which have mood-boosting and stress-reducing effects. This, in turn, can create a physiological environment that is more conducive to healing.
So you're actually like chemically changing your body.
Exactly.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow.
It's pretty powerful.
We've shifted our focus and, we're kind of feeling all these positive emotions. What's next? The article also talks about expressing gratitude to others.
Right. Gratitude isn't just an internal feeling. Expressing it outwardly can create a ripple effect of positivity. It strengthens relationships. It boosts happiness for both the giver and receiver.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be incredibly simple.
Some more compliments, I can get behind that.
It can be as simple as that. Noticing and acknowledging the good things people do and expressing your appreciation verbally can make a real difference. But it goes beyond just compliments. Think acts of service, thoughtful gifts, or even just a heartfelt thank you.
Yeah. You mentioned in your notes that you were interested in starting a gratitude ritual.
Yes,
And the article actually offers several suggestions for doing just that.
it does. And there's no one-size-fits-all approach.
Okay.
Dr. Gabayan mentions gratitude journals where you write down things you're grateful for, gratitude jars, where you collect these little notes of appreciation, and even setting reminders on your phone to just pause and reflect on the good. It's about finding what works for you and incorporating it into your routine.
I love that. It's like a personalized gratitude toolkit.
Exactly.
But, for somebody who is just starting out, what would you suggest? Would you say like a simple gratitude journal is a good place to begin?
Absolutely. Starting small and being consistent is key. It's not about grand gestures. It's about cultivating a daily habit. So, yes, a journal could be a great starting point.
Now, we've talked about how gratitude can impact our mental and physical health, our relationships, even our sleep. But I'm curious, what about those who have faced truly difficult situations?
Yeah.
Those who have overcome significant obstacles.
Right.
Does gratitude play a role in their stories as well?
That's an excellent question. And it's something Dr. Gabayan actually explored in her research on what she calls wise individuals.
Okay.
These were people who had faced and overcome incredible adversity. And you know what she found?
What's that?
Gratitude was a common thread among them.
Really? So even in the face of, real hardship, they were still able to find things to be grateful for.
Exactly. These individuals had cultivated a perspective that allowed them to find the good even in the midst of challenging circumstances. It's not that they didn't experience pain or hardship, but rather that they had learned to appreciate the simple things,
Mhm.
focus on what they had rather than what they lacked,
Okay.
and find meaning and purpose even in their struggles.
That's powerful. It almost sounds like gratitude was a key factor in their resilience.
That's exactly what Dr. Gabion's research suggests. Gratitude isn't just about feeling good, it's about building inner strength, fostering hope, and developing a mindset that allows us to navigate life's ups and downs with greater resilience.
So it's not magic in the literal sense, but it can certainly feel that way when you experience its effects firsthand. And the best part is it's something we can all cultivate.
Absolutely. Gratitude is a practice, a skill we can develop and strengthen over time. It's about making a conscious choice to shift our focus, appreciate the good, and cultivate a grateful heart and mind. One thing that really struck me in the article was when Dr. Gabayan mentioned the loneliness epidemic and rising teen suicide rates.
Oh, wow.
It's a sobering reminder of what can happen when we lose sight of the good in our lives.
It is.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder, could a lack of gratitude actually contribute to those feelings of isolation and despair?
It's a possibility worth considering when we're constantly focused on what's wrong, what we lack, what's making us unhappy.
Right.
It can create this downward spiral. We fall into a negative feedback loop
Oh, yeah.
that can lead to feelings of hopelessness and disconnection.
So it's not just about missing out on the good stuff.
Right.
It's about actually potentially amplifying the bad.
Exactly. Gratitude, on the other hand, acts like a circuit breaker for that negativity.
Okay.
It's about making a conscious choice to focus on the positive, and that shift can have a ripple effect on our thoughts, our emotions, even our behaviors.
So instead of, having this like narrow pessimistic lens, you're widening your perspective and letting in more light.
That's a great way to put it. And remember, Dr. Gadian specifically highlights the importance of gratitude during tough times. It's in those moments when we're facing adversity that gratitude can be most powerful.
Yeah, because it helps us find the strength to keep going, to see a way forward, even when things are hard.
Precisely. It reminds us that even in the darkest of times, there's still light to be found. Those glimmers of hope, small acts of kindness, moments of connection, they all become more visible when we're actively looking for them.
We often think of gratitude as something we express outwardly, to other people.
Right.
But the article also stresses the importance of cultivating gratitude within ourselves.
Yeah.
What does that look like in practice?
It's about cultivating a grateful heart and mind.
Okay.
It's about recognizing and appreciating the good in our own lives, no matter how small it may seem. It's an internal shift, an attitude adjustment.
So it's not just about saying thank you to others,
Right.
but also saying thank you to ourselves
Yeah.
and to the universe in a sense.
Yeah. You could say that. It's about choosing to focus on the positive aspects of our experiences, even the difficult ones, rather than dwelling on the negative. And this is where those gratitude rituals we talked about come into play.
Right.
They're not just for outward expression. They create space for internal reflection and appreciation.
So those gratitude journals or jars,
Mm-hmm.
aren't just about remembering what we're grateful for. They're about training our minds to actively seek out the good.
Exactly. They're tools that help us weave gratitude into the fabric of our daily lives, making it a conscious practice rather than a fleeting feeling.
It's so easy to take things for granted.
It is.
We get caught up in the daily grind and we forget to appreciate the simple joys that surround us.
It's true. We're constantly striving for more, always looking ahead to the next thing, and we often miss the beauty and abundance that already exists in our lives.
Yeah. It's like we're so focused on the destination that we forget to enjoy the journey.
Gratitude helps us slow down, pause, and savor those moments. It's about appreciating the journey as much as the destination.
You mentioned earlier that Dr. Gabayan's research focused on wise individuals who had overcome significant life obstacles. What role did gratitude play in their stories?
In her book, Common Wisdom, Dr. Gabayan found that gratitude was a common thread among these individuals. Despite the challenges they faced, they had cultivated an attitude of gratitude which seemed to play a key role in their resilience and overall well-being.
So it's not that they didn't experience hardship or adversity,
Right.
but they had this remarkable ability to find the good, even in the midst of difficult circumstances.
Exactly. They had learned to appreciate the simple things, focus on what they had, and find meaning and purpose even in their struggles.
They had discovered a way to turn adversity into a source of strength and growth.
And this secret weapon, as you called it, is available to all of us. Gratitude isn't something you're born with. It's a skill you can develop through conscious practice.
Speaking of practice, how do you personally incorporate gratitude into your own life?
Mhm.
Do you have any gratitude rituals or practices?
I'm a firm believer in the power of journaling. I try to set aside a few minutes each evening to reflect on my day and jot down a few things I'm grateful for. It could be a delicious meal, a stunning sunset, a meaningful conversation, anything that brought a spark of joy to my day.
A daily dose of positivity before bed.
Ah.
I like it. You're also a big advocate for mindfulness.
Yes.
Is there a connection between gratitude and mindfulness?
Yeah, absolutely. Mindfulness is all about being present in the moment, paying attention to our thoughts, feelings, and sensations without judgment. Gratitude is a form of mindfulness. It's about consciously directing our attention to the good, savoring those moments, and appreciating them fully.
So mindfulness helps us become more aware of the things we can be grateful for.
Mm-hmm.
And gratitude enhances our experience of the present moment.
Mm,
They work together beautifully.
precisely. They complement and enhance each other.
It's fascinating how something as simple as gratitude can have such a profound impact on our lives. It's not just a feel-good emotion. It's a powerful tool for cultivating resilience, enhancing well-being, and living a more fulfilling life.
I couldn't agree more. It's about shifting our focus, appreciating the good, and cultivating a grateful heart and mind.
We've covered a lot of ground in this section.
Yeah.
Before we move on, any final thoughts on incorporating gratitude into our lives?
Don't underestimate the power of small gestures. A sincere thank you to a cashier, a handwritten note to a friend, or even a quiet moment of reflection on your blessings can have a ripple effect of positivity.
Small steps, consistent practice, that's the key.
Exactly. Make gratitude a part of your daily routine, a habit of the heart and mind.
What a wonderful thought to carry with us as we continue exploring this topic. We're back and, ready to kind of wrap up our deep dive into the world of gratitude. From forced appreciation to expressing gratitude and even exploring those personal rituals, it feels like we've uncovered a whole new toolkit for well-being.
We have, and I think one of the most compelling aspects we've discussed is the science behind it all.
Right.
It's fascinating how something as simple as shifting our focus and expressing appreciation can have such a tangible impact on our minds and bodies.
Speaking of the science earlier, you touched upon this fascinating mind-body connection
Yes.
and how gratitude can actually trigger the release of, these beneficial hormones like dopamine and serotonin.
Right.
Can you elaborate on that a bit more for us?
Of course. You see, when we experience gratitude, our brain doesn't just register it as a fleeting feeling.
Sure.
It actually sets off this cascade of physiological responses.
Wow.
These hormones, dopamine and serotonin, they play a crucial role in regulating our mood, reducing stress levels, and even promoting feelings of happiness and well-being.
So it's like a positive feedback loop.
Exact.
Gratitude leads to these positive emotions, which then trigger physiological changes that further enhance our well-being.
Exactly.
It's incredible to think that something as simple as a shift in perspective
I
can
know.
have such a profound impact on our biology.
It really highlights the interconnectedness of our minds and bodies. They're not separate entities. They're constantly influencing and impacting each other. And gratitude seems to be this powerful bridge between the two.
And if I remember correctly, Dr. Gabion's research specifically highlighted the significance of gratitude during challenging times. Why is that?
Because when we're facing adversity, it's so easy to get swept up in this tide of negativity.
Right.
Our minds tend to focus on what's wrong, what we're lacking, what we've lost.
Yeah.
Gratitude acts like an anchor in those stormy seas.
It helps us stay afloat amidst the chaos.
Precisely. It reminds us that even in the midst of hardship, there are still things to appreciate, sparks of joy to be found, and reasons to be hopeful.
It's like a lifeline pulling us back from the depths of despair
Yes.
and reminding us that there's still beauty and goodness in the world, even when it's hard to see.
That's a beautiful way to put it. Gratitude's a powerful antidote to negativity and despair. It helps us reclaim our power and choose hope over helplessness.
Well, as we wrap up this deep dive, do you have any final thoughts for our listeners on how to cultivate more gratitude in their lives?
I would simply encourage everyone listening to make gratitude a daily practice. Start small, be consistent, and witness the transformative power it holds.
And remember, it doesn't have to be complicated.
No, it doesn't.
A simple thank you uttered sincerely.
Mm-hmm.
A few moments of quiet reflection or a handful of words jotted down in a gratitude journal can be enough to ignite that spark of appreciation.
Absolutely. It's about integrating gratitude into the rhythm of your life, making it a habit of the heart and mind, a natural response to the world around you.
Well, that's a wrap on our exploration of gratitude. Thank you for joining us on this insightful journey, and we hope you've gleaned some valuable tools and perspectives to weave more gratitude into your own life.
It's been a pleasure sharing this deep dive with you.
Until next time, keep those gratitude muscles flexing